You are onto a life transforming experience as Pastor Prince Abah brings you God's Word with deep insights and power. God bless you.
Church planting and church growth. I'll show you strategy, methods, and principles. Let's deal with the strategy. Number one, to grow church or to plant a church. See the strategy for church planting. It's not hard. Cell group. Start a cell. Every one of you will have to start a cell. If you're already running a church, that's okay. But I want you to fall back to the cell system also. Any pastor who wants to know how to, engage people in church must engage the power of cell. You want to know how church can be effectively run cell. I'm not talking about building a cell system and asking people to run it. Run one yourself. Even if you're pastoring a church, have a cell. Because that way it's easy to get in contact with people and know exactly how people feel, how people react, how people are. That's the importance of cell. Any pastor who has not done cell effectively will have a struggle in church planting or in church growth. So, then if you're not already running a church, cell group is a criteria. If you have been running a cell before and you abandon it, go back to it. Then if you've not run one in church, nobody's going to entrust you with a church to go and plant until we see how you succeeded with cell group. That is the first place your ministry begins actually. So plant a cell from today. I'm not saying tomorrow. From today, start gathering a cell. Get a cell location. It can be your house. It can be your office. It can be another friend's house. Find a location and a territory and begin to galvanize people to be part of the cell group there. What do you do in a cell? I've shown this thing before. Cell group is a group of a minimum of 12 people where you are transferring your life to them. Discipleship is beyond teaching and preaching. Discipleship is transfer of life. That's what discipleship is. And then cell group is that platform where you have the opportunity of transferring your life to the people. The purpose of cell is to provide care for new converts. Is to provide a platform for discipleship, for teaching these things, these truths, teaching the word to people. The purpose of cell is for nurture. The purpose of cell is for care and love. The purpose of cell is to build a smaller family within the bigger family. Because there are things that the people cannot get access to in the bigger family. They may not get access to care in the bigger family. But in cell group, everyone is guaranteed of care from the cell leader and fellow cell members. So cell group is important. If you would pastor effectively, cell. That's where you will learn how to cultivate a heart for the people. That's where you will learn how to love people. That's where you will learn how to take care of people. That's where you will learn how to follow up on people. That is the fastest way to raise people. If you want us to duplicate the DNA of this ministry, raise men who would reflect this ministry, who would carry the DNA of this ministry, run with the vision of this ministry. You cannot undermine the place of cell group. If you want to raise a church that has committed members, you cannot undermine the place of cell group. That's the secret of raising the fastest church or the greatest church or the fastest growing church in the world. Dr. Paul Yongucho has done this and successfully. You can see what he has. The largest church in the world. And that's what I'm going to recommend to you. Every book Dr. Paul Yongucho has ever written. If you want to be an effective pastor, if you want to be a successful pastor, you cannot play with Dr. Paul Yongucho's book. You have not yet started succeeding as a minister until you have learned how to stay with that man's book. So there are a couple of books like My Church Growth Stories, Church Growth Manual, Successful Home Cell, planting, church planting. Most of these books written by him, you see that they are powerful. And then there are some other books written by contemporary Christian scholars. that deal on cell group, cell system, that deal on church planting and all that. But Dr. Paul Yongucho is the founder of this movement. Others have just espoused or expounded on the work, and then it's amazing. So, go and run cell. Start developing your cell from today. Get the book. We are going to still come back on cell, we're going to have cell summit soon again, so we can expand more on that. G12 is another one. I put it cell group / G12. The difference between cell group and G12 is that, there's not much difference. G12 is like a government. Why cell can split? You can run a cell of 12 people or more people. The minimum is usually 12. It can grow to 50 and all that. Why cell can split and other leaders of the, of those groups rise from within your cell and then run their independent stuff. G12 hardly splits. G12 is like a government you are building, a government of loyal people, people who are submitted under your authority, people you are transferring your life to, you are extending your life to. It's like raising 12 pillars. Raising 12 pillars who are like you. There are times, and they are coming soon, where I'm going to give you heavy responsibilities. You'll find that you can't do them alone. You will need to fall back to your 12. G12 is like your disciples. These are your frats. You know what you call fraternity? People who share your passion. These are people when you want to get certain things done. Things you're believing God to crack a particular territory. You're believing God to get a particular thing done in line with the vision of the house. These are trusted people you call. You come. I want to get this thing done. Pastor has given us an assignment. Giving me an assignment and we have to produce 1 million to get this. I need you guys to get this thing. Pull it in for me. They are your backbone. They are your personal pillars in ministry. If you do not have them, like I have my list of G12 and some of you are amongst them. You may not know. But soon I'm going to call a G12 meeting. And you will see yourself in it. And you see, it's not sweet. These are people with stamina. You're building stamina into them. Cell group is for nurture. G12 is beyond that one. G12 is for pillars. You're raising pillars. Men who are cracking bones. In cell you can be giving milk. In G12 is a different thing. For want of time. Number 2, we are done with cell and G12. We are going to do summit. G12 summit. We'll have a G12 summit soon. Then we'll have a cell group summit. There are 2 different summits, and the principles are different. So they're not the same actually. Okay, start a campus fellowship, We have a campus fellowship. Hope Campus Fellowship. It used to be called Wisdom Park, but now we've changed it to Hope. Hope Campus Fellowship. And then the Hope there is an acronym for honing potentials early. That's what the hope there is. Honing. To hone something means to refine or to explore something, to exploit, to develop something. That's honing. Honing potentials early. That's Hope Campus Fellowship. Now, for some of you, it can be Campus Fellowship. Then when you are pastoring also, you want to develop some of your leaders very fast. Deploy them to go and start, Campus Fellowship. So you see the progression. Check how well they are doing with cell. Their cell grows, it can split into other cells, and then some of them who have done outstandingly well, start campus fellowship within the region where the church is. Then you may not be doing cell alone. There are some who can do cell and fellowship also at the same time. These are all training platforms. Let's leave that one. Then number 3, start a church. So these are church planting and church growth, strategies. Start a church. Of course, the easiest way to start church is cell. Cell can grow into church. Yes. Cell can grow into church. Fellowship can also grow into church. For instance, in a fresh territory where you want to start a church, you can start with fellowship. Maybe it's a campus territory. Campus fellowship just starts, and the thing matures into church. While you are running church now, the fellowship still remains. Yes, it's doable. For instance, BLW, Believers Love Word, New Covenant Fellowship of Dominion City. BLW is for Christ Embassy. Both of them started as campus fellowship but grew into church. So it's another good way we can start church. Then you now have started church. You can start church without necessarily running cell and campus fellowship. Church can just start. So these are strategies for church planting. But now we are showing you that the fastest way is to start cell. Because you can have all the failure you want to have within cell, do all the correction within cell, learn all the experiences within cell, and then when church starts, you see your mistakes are minimized. Your errors are minimized. Okay, I'm done with strategy. You see, it's brief. I'm giving you PowerPoints. Now let's deal with methods. What are the methods for achieving all this? These are strategies. I want to plant a church. What is a strategy? Cell group, G12, campus fellowship, or start the church directly. These are the strategies. Then you see, it also leads to church growth, also links up to church growth. I want to grow my church. My church is currently 10 people. How do I grow it? 10 people should go and start 10 cells. Are you seeing the interlink now? 10 people should go and start 10 cells and grow it to 12 each. 10 multiplied by 12, you know how much that is? That's amazing, you know. Then the 12 should be the minimum, but the 12 can grow 50. Then they split again, you have 12 amongst the 50. Growing back to 50. That's church planting or church growth strategy now. You can start cell as a medium or as a strategy for planting church. You can start cell as a medium or as a strategy for growing your church. The same thing with campus fellowship. You can start campus fellowship to grow church. You can start it to do what? Plant church. Now, as we plant Presco campus fellowship now and plant CAS campus fellowship, on Sunday, the campus leaders are meant to pull in their nets into the head church. So what you see is an exponential increase in the church, numerical, whatever. And that's what we are going to execute tonight. There are some of you, you go and start campus fellowship now. We'll show you. Your banners will be up in the campuses. Then you start hitting all the classrooms. We are going to show you the packages. How do you develop a package that can sell within the campus? Then how do you pull in these people for every service? It's now your responsibility. Every service you're ensuring that your cell is coming to church and you're ensuring that there's a bus to convey your campus fellowship to church for service. That's how you have overflowing services. That's what these men are doing, and you're wondering, how are they having this kind of exponential growth in their services? You think people just woke up and came to church? No. They put them in. Can I shock you? In the harvest, okay, let's get back to that prayer. The harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. Now, the harvest is one thing. The laborers is another thing. I want to show you the one God made the most important. He mentions two things in that scripture. Harvest. Number two, what? Laborers. I want to show you the one he makes the most important. He said, pray ye the Lord of the harvest to send laborers into the harvest. So which one did God make important? The laborers, not the harvest. So I want to help you pray the right prayer now. When you pray for souls to come in, you are praying the wrong prayer. The right prayer to pray is, God, help us develop laborers for the harvest, because the harvest is there. But they will not come until the laborers are equipped to go. So church growth is not a mystery. Church growth stagnates when you keep praying and asking for the harvest to come in. They won't. The strategy for getting the harvest in is that the laborers must go. So if there's any place to do a deep work, it's with the laborers, not the harvest. The harvest is ripe and plenty. Thus says the Lord. But the laborers are few. So what should a church who wants the harvest do? Increase your workforce. Increase your labor force. Equip your labor force. Then send the labor force. The strategy is increase your labor force. Equip your labor force. Send them. If you do a good job with the labor force, the harvest will come. So all the prayers for, Lord, give us souls, give us souls, give us souls, you've been praying the wrong prayer. The prayers will be, Lord, send us to the souls, send us to the souls, send us to the souls, not give us souls. It's, Lord, send us to the souls. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? And then the strategy is what I'm showing you now. Cell is a strategy. G12 is a strategy. Fellowship is a strategy. Of course, cell group is house fellowship. Oh. It can also be office fellowship. It's gone beyond house fellowship now. You can have it in your bank. You can have it in your classroom actually. You can have it in your friend's house. You can have it in one of your members' house. Anywhere at all. As long as there is a meeting weekly. At least once a week. Cell should hold. At least once a week. Every leader must run it. Workers in church should run it. One may be asking, when should someone start running the cell? As soon as he gives his life to Jesus, he should start running the cell. Because the truth is that cell group is the only way also you can keep your Christianity in check. The first thing a believer should do once he receives Jesus is to declare his identity. So you're asking, when should the person start running cell? Not when he's a pastor. Before he becomes a pastor. How do you unlock the calling of people? Through cell. They won't know what their passion is. They won't know if they have ministry gifts if they don't run cell. They won't know if they are called into the teaching ministry, the evangelistic ministry, the prayer ministry, the whatever ministry. They won't know what they are called into until you are giving cell. So what you do is when you win people into church, you bring them into cell. Cell becomes the platform for their training. While they are going through other ministry training like foundation school and the rest of them, cell becomes the platform for their training. Then you give them responsibilities within the cell. Opening prayer, after cell group, you tell them, okay, next week we are meeting again. Make sure you come with one person or two persons. They bring one person or two persons. Then after a while, you give them tapes, listen to this tape because next week you are the one who is going to teach us. Or go and read the cell manual or the cell, instructor's manual. Next week you're the one who's going to teach us on faith, on this one, on that one. The guy goes back, pray, you train him, pray, he studies, and then next week he's the one teaching. He begins to discover, wow, so I can teach the Bible. Because he knows he's going to teach the next week, he goes back and read his Bible. Ordinarily he wouldn't have wanted to read, but because he knows I have a responsibility, he goes and reads. So can you now see how you're unlocking their ministries now? Then before long, you see how well they are doing. They're the ones bringing in people more. They are active in the cell. Tell them, do you know you can run your own cell now? As the cell grows, is hitting 30, hitting 50. You split the cell. Look for those faithful ones, those ones who have excelled within the cell, and then they become cell leaders. You split the cell. These other people go, this one go, this one go. And the cell reduces back to 12 again and starts all over again to build. So out of 50, remove 12 with their leaders. And then this 12, go and raise another 50. This 12, go and raise another 50. This 12, go and raise another 50. As the thing grows and gets to 50, divide again. That's why it's called cell. It's just like the cell in your body. It multiplies itself. So 4 laws of mathematics. Addition is fishing with net. That's evangelism. Fishing with nets. Multiplication is cell group. Is running cell. Division is dividing the cell. Actually, division causes multiplication. Subtraction is actually elimination. Yeah, because as you grow these people and you grow your network and all that, you must look out for the viruses amongst you and eliminate them. Ministry must learn how to operate the 4 laws of mathematics. Addition, evangelism, there's a place for it. Soul winning, one-on-one soul winning. Very important. Don't lose touch with that. As you're doing cell, do evangelism. Because cell can grow through the power of evangelism too. When you send your members out to bring people into the cell, what they are doing is evangelism. You evangelize, you bring into the cell grows the people that, brings in the bigger, whatever, into the church. So addition is evangelism, one-on-one. That's fishing with hook. Cell is fishing with nets. That's multiplication. Then when the cell grows, you now bring in division, so multiplication can happen again. Subtraction is who are the ones constituting problems within. What are the viruses? Eliminate them. Put them where they belong. Eliminate. That's subtraction. If you do not put the power of elimination, in most cases, even when you are adding, or when you are multiplying or dividing, your equation will go wrong. You will see that something is going wrong somewhere because you are not putting the power of subtraction into work. So that's for that. Okay, let's look at methods. How do we achieve this? This is your strategy on paper. How do you achieve this? Action. You have to delve into action. You have to delve into action. Delve into action. You want to achieve cell. You want to achieve campus fellowship. You want to achieve church. I'm just going to give you generally. I'm not going to be specified. Action. You have to start taking steps. You have to do something. Okay, number 2, prayers. You have to pray. Because you have to equip yourself in the spirit. Okay, the word of God is important. You must study it. As a cell leader, what are you going to be teaching? God's word. As a cell leader, you must understand the power of prayers. You have to pray for the people you are expecting to lead. You have to pray for your cell group. You have to excel at the place of prayer if you must excel in your church. Church doesn't just grow. Don't undermine the place of prayers. Study relevant tapes and materials. Relate to the church, cell group and all that. You have to study. Now you are implementing your strategy. That's the method. Win souls. That's the method. Church cannot grow without soul winning. Win souls. Disciple them. That's the next one. Disciple them. The next one is give them responsibilities. You see, action. This is what you have to be doing. The next one is develop programs, People targeted programs. Develop programs. If you're running a church, don't run church without powerful programs. The next one is use relevant platforms to create awareness and increase publicity about maybe your cell, use your social media, use your Facebook, talk to people about your cell and all that. Okay, now we're going to go to principles, I've dealt on the methods. These are your methods. These are the little methods you can put in place to achieve this thing. Let's look at principles. What principles should you adopt, to achieve your strategies? Okay, I show you a few of them very fast, Number 1, passion, passion. You must be desperate about achieving this. Passion. You've got to be passionate if you must grow your church or grow your cell or even plant a church. It takes a lot of work to grow your ministry. Whatever it is you're doing, you have to give it all that it takes. And it takes passion, actually. So passion is important. Ministry is not for lazy people. If you're giving a campus fellowship, you cannot grow it with laziness. Cell group can't grow with laziness. Campus fellowship can't grow with laziness. Church cannot grow if you are lazy. So you have to be passionate and hardworking. Number 2, focus. Avoid anything that causes distraction. For instance, things like traveling. Always on and off. Today you are here, tomorrow you are there. Today you are here, tomorrow you are there. Avoid too much of traveling. Stay on the walk. Avoid too much of moving up and down. Stay on the walk. Anything that constitutes a distraction would pose destruction to the work, or will cause destruction to your work. So focus is key. Okay, another principle. Grow yourself as a pastor. That means you must develop yourself. All round development, not just reading the Bible now. All round development. Spirit, soul and body. I've mentioned prayer, it's also part of it. Okay, now let's take this other one. Goal setting. This is a principle you must not trivialize. Goal setting. Set goals of where you want your church to be. Set goals such as financial goals. How much you want to make in your church, in your cell, in your campus fellowship. Set growth goals. How many members do you want in your church? Set these goals. Set goals. What kind of facility do you want to start using? Set goals for land. Set goals. General goals. All kinds of goals that relates to your ministry. Okay, the next one is develop plans. After you have set goals, develop plans on how you will reach your goals. Develop plans on how you will reach your goals. The next one is the quality of your services. What's the quality of your service? As a pastor, what does your services look like? You have to develop quality in service. Develop a quality plan on how you render your services. So build your church in such a way that the people who come have a heaven on earth experience. Even if it is a cell group you're running. Even if it is a campus fellowship you're running. Develop it in such a way that it has quality. The people come around and have a heaven on earth experience. And that is how to get them to come back. You see what I've put in church now? The feeding, the little feeding I put. It can be the worship, develop it. So I show you a few things to develop. If you want to build quality in your service, develop your worship, work on your worship. Get a good choir in place. Campus fellowship, get good singers. Work on your word. Work on your preaching, that's what I mean. Work on your teaching. Don't be talking off point. Don't be shooting amiss or speaking amiss. Be accurate. When people hear you, let them see that you are talking accurately. You're speaking concisely. You take one thing after the other. One thing after the other and deal with them. You're not talking vaguely. You're not talking vaguely. You're not talking ambiguity. You're communicating in language people can understand. Work on your word. Let your word have inspiration. Let it have revelation. Let it have motivation. Are you seeing the elements now? Let your word have inspiration. Let it have revelation. Let it have motivation. Very important. Let your message not be dried. Let it carry life. The next thing is work on the quality of everything you do in your service. The ushering, the sound, the media, the greeters, other departments. Make sure you work on everything in the service. Work on your love for people. These are areas you must work on to develop the quality of your service. Work on your love for people. Alright. Still on principles. Evangelism. Important. I want you to know that no church can grow without an influx. Without a steady influx of new people in every service. So after every service, don't just give the people revelation. Give them a vision of the ministry about soul winning. Evangelism has to be a constant and continuous practice. It must be an ongoing process, irrespective of the message you preach. Church does not grow by the message you preach. You must know that. Church grows by the souls you are winning. So it's a principle. It's a principle. To achieve your strategy, put this principle in motion. Alright, another one is release ministries. Don't tie ministries down. Release ministries. Everyone in church must find a platform to do ministry. In order to increase seating capacity, you must increase sending capacity. So send the people into different ministry platforms. Ushering, workforce, different ministerial platforms. Send them into service units. Send them into service units. Some should join the children's department. Some should join the music department. Some should go and start sales. Some should start a ministry in society. Whatever they do that will keep them busy and not idle. That's releasing them into ministries. The ones who are qualified to start church should go and plant church. The ones who are qualified to start sales should go and start sales. The ones who are qualified to HOD, they should be. The ones who are qualified to join the department, whatever. Know where the people can start from and let them start immediately. Because if you keep them sitting down, they consider a problem to the body. They must be active. Number 7. Or, I don't know what number I am. What number? Is that 6? Are you sure? Okay. Use technologies, a very powerful principle, e.g. TV, radio, website, social media, to promote your ministry. The next one, employ the supernatural. Deploy the supernatural. That means use miracles and healings. The miraculous can explode your church. Get the power of God on your life. Get the power of God on your life. Get the power of God on your life. Everything is not just talk. 1 or 2 times you should know how to demonstrate the power of God in your services or your fellowship. Let's hear that people came for your fellowship and they got healed of cancer. In your fellowship or in your cell groups, sometimes employ the use of power. And then finally, honor. One of the keys to church growth is in connecting to the grace upon the ministry. How do you connect to grace? Honor. So if you have done all of these things, or if you do all of these things, success is your portion. Honor. It's not just enough to hear or do, pray, study the word, develop yourselves and all that we mentioned. Start the cell, start the church. Don't trivialize the place of honor. Because it is the grace upon the man that you connect to that makes the ministry flourish. If you do not connect to grace, your ministry will be dried. And how do you connect to grace? The power of honor. God bless you.
We believe you've been transformed by the wonders of God's Word. For additional information about us, you can visit our website at www.princetonhills.org. You can also send us a mail at info@princetonhills.org or call
070-331-66762 or 081-31-555-747.
Princeton Hills Ministries, raising global leaders.